Alright, so here we have Sona Janna against Kaiser Swain. Of course, level 11 auto win, infamous member or participant of the Sona Men's 1v1 tournament. Renowned for this like borderline illegal strategy of standing in base, waiting for 1,000 gold, and then waiting like, it was like legit waiting like 5 minutes and then walking in and dying. That kind of sucks. Yeah. Sona griefer. Yeah. So only the triangle thing? It's the triangle thing and also the paying attention to the creeps thing. I can also recommend that you try to watch like me lane, especially range versus range matchups, because those are the ones where the like positioning is really straightforward like that. You can like try to figure out, you can like try to pay very close attention to how I am positioning and trying to punish the enemy support when he goes to auto attack my AD carry, and how I also try to punish for CS. Yes, it is. Alright, so yeah, here we have. Okay, so I have a bit of a spoiler here, hovering over the time controls, my bad. Hopefully nobody saw it. Alright, so what you have is Janna Sona. Okay, first of all, first thing, if you play Sona, if you play Sona AD carry, you have to tell your support how the fuck this works. Because look at this guy, he started Relic Shield. Like, that's not what you want. You want to have 2 spell thieves. You want to say, hello, I'm going to play Spell Thief Sona AD carry. You should also go Spell Thieves, and we split the farm, okay? And that's like it. And then you tell them that you take melee creeps and they take ranged. And then they kind of know what's up. And then if they farm beyond the penalty, which happens sometimes, you just like tell them stop farming until the penalty is gone. If you tell them at the start of the game, they will just forget, because yeah, it's like that sometimes. So anyway, okay. So a bit of a misplay at before the game has even started. All right. Let's look at runes. Obviously, you want to go to Harvest the Sona AD carry. That's correct. I'm sure everything else is also, yeah. If you're really like a comedian, you can go cheap shot here. You can also just not do that. Be a normal human being. Let's look at the rune charts. Also a double AP and match wizard looks good. So FF Simulator on AD carry. I know like some of these players like vaguely. It's been a while since I played in Diamond 1 Elo, but yeah. Here, okay. All right, so here, taking range creeps, don't do this, okay? If you play Sona AD carry, don't take the range creeps. Let your stupid support take them, because they're useless. All right, you don't wanna take the range creeps. They just count towards the penalty and they don't give enough gold to be worth it, because you can't even take every melee. Here, this was I don't really understand why you wouldn't go for the Q here. It's like if this is the same as last game, right? Except a bit higher elo. If the Kai'Sa goes for the CS, you want to punish it. It's fine to not auto attack, although I think you really could, because you have Janna. So like, what's going to happen? So like you stand here. All right. So actually, this is kind of interesting because Kai'Sa has like her response to if you punish her for the creep. So she can, instead of auto attacking the creep, she can Q to kill the creeps, and then the Q hits you, and she also auto attacks you. So if Sona stands like here, if Sona stands like right over here, and tries to auto attack Kai'Sa, then Kai'Sa will Q and auto the Sona, and that will be really bad. But like, there's nothing stopping Sona from just Qing here, right? You can see it's in range. Okay, you can't see it, but you have to believe me. The Q really is in range here, and yeah, there's no reason not to use it. It's a bit random. Then dodge that. And again here, okay, this Kai'Sa is a bad player, so he doesn't use his Schuh particularly intelligently, but it was nice auto punish there. Okay, again, don't take the range creeps, alright? If you play Sona AD carry, like, really don't take the range creeps, or you will be at penalty territory really fast. That's not good. Alright, I should know what happened here. Let's maybe rewind a little bit to see how on earth this happened. So of course, a Sona AD carry, you're actually really weak, right? You're like a caster creep. So you don't wanna, even though it is your objective to walk up and Q to get spell twice and auto if possible, you're not actually strong. Also here, this is like not understanding of level 2, like XP disadvantage. And also, okay, so the way Swain support works, or Swain in general works, is that he throws his E and it will hit the creeps and then like explodes on the creeps and tries to hit you with it. In this case, Sona just got hit by it randomly. So like a lot of things here could have went worse, and I think Sona still dies. That's kind of sad. So like this is level 2 disadvantage, standing in the middle of the enemy wave, not respecting Swain E, and positioning too far away from Janna. So it's like a lot of mistakes in one, which interesting enough are not specific to Swain. I mean to Sona AD carry, so that's cool. And then they die. Maybe just Sona dies. But yeah. What happens if you get a melee support as Sona AD carry, or do you tell them to be ranged? Wouldn't it be hard to do a melee ranged hit? It's not as easy, yeah. But your support also doesn't need to go that badly. That's fine. And they can still get some, like, under the tower or whatever. That's okay. So yeah. But anyway, this was like a lot of mistakes in one. It was like not respecting Swain E. It was not paying attention to level 2. Being way too aggressive in a position where you have no business being aggressive because you're just playing Sona. And also not being on the same like page as the support. The support like just walked away, or the Janna just walked away because she knew, she knew that wasn't a good idea. To be there. Taking Q, okay, bit weird. Yeah, this is honestly I think this was kind of a grief to walk up like this. So I think if Swain goes for the flash E, he could land it and then Sona would die again. It's like the last thing you want to do is come back to lane and die. That's really not good. Playing 2 fairy charms here instead of nothing, it's okay, I guess. It's not like the worst. It's kind of a lot of gold spent, but I don't know, it's okay. Like, this right here, okay, this is actually quite interesting. So if Kai'Sa is in range to Q you as Sona, when you trade just a Q for it, it's like a sign that you really mispositioned quite badly, I think. Right? And this kind of ties in with the other thing that I mentioned about clicking really frequently and close to your character. I can't like issue move commands, so you can't see how like fast I would click. But if you click really close to you and really fast, then you can manage your distance a lot better. And then you can Q, so the Q is just like, you can Q Kai'Sa just so that she's in your Q range, and she won't be able to hit you in return. Here we give him some auto attacks in, that's nice. Again, getting hit by Swain E, that's... Yeah, you really need to respect that ability on the creeps. If you stand away from the creeps, then it's a lot easier to dodge. You need to ping Janna a bit more to take range creeps as well. She's like not really taking them, and it's pretty bad. And here, again, it's like the same thing. Swain kind of messed this up. I think if he angled this a tiny bit more to the right, so that it hits the creep, Sona might have gotten hit by it. So yeah. They're not paying a lot of respect to the Swain, which makes me a bit anxious, honestly. And again here, so you actually know where Swain is, right? So if you're in this Sona player, you know where Swain is. You know Swain is over here on the right. So you want to be as far away from Swain as possible. And you want to just hit, because your mission is to Q the Kai'Sa when she goes for creeps, right? You want to hit the Kai'Sa and you don't want it to Swain. Because Swain has no like incentive to walk up randomly. So like Kai'Sa is the one that's forced to go for these creeps. So what you do is you stand like here, right? You stand all the way to the left. And not over here. If you stand further away on the left, then Swain wouldn't be able to reach. Of course, Janna could also trade here like a normal person. But yeah, like I said, like people are really not that good at trading in lane on range supports and like positioning correctly. So you can see like Janna, she should be like over here, and she's not. So if you're, and this is like a Diamond 1 player. So if you master that skill, you will be super ultra halo instantly. So this was not really respecting the Swain and dying for it. Also Janna kind of sucking, but that's like not really something that you have control over. What's the purchase here? 400 gold, Dark Seal, and Potion. I like that. That's a good pack. Very good buy. Still level 1. If you don't have E yet and you're walking back to lane, usually want to use your Q to stack up your passive a bit. It's good. I think to do. You're trying to go help in the fight. Really coin flip. I don't agree with it at all. I said the same thing in the game before the last one, in the first game today. Let's look at how much Sona missed before going there, okay? So I think it's safe to assume that she would have gotten every one of these creeps, I think. Maybe for the melee she would have not gotten the creep, but she would have gotten the XP. And instead, look how much she loses. She gets XP for the cannon, but she loses XP for the 3 melees, and she doesn't get the cannon like last hit. So yeah, really costly roam. Could have been even worse, like she could have also just died. She doesn't have flash and she's level 2, so like really just a caster minion. Want to just go back to lane. Get the XP, I think. Because like I've been, I've played this game kind of a lot. I've played like ridiculous amount of Sona games, probably like thousands, right? I've been in this situation a lot where I'm like 3-6, my team wants me to come move to a fight, and every time I do it, or like most of the time I do it, it doesn't go very well. Here. He's in there, that's nice. Getting the kill on Swain. I think this was just a misplay with that enemy bot lane, to not respect the jungler when they didn't have vision. Here. This also is like, again, this is like going for... This is like a... How would you say this? It's like, I don't want to call this a like high risk, low reward play. Like the moment Lee Sin is out, you have to turn and get the cannon, right? Because there's no way that you're going to kill these guys. Right? It just won't happen. So yeah. Then instead you miss the cannon. It's all the gold wasted. And it adds up, It's like, you keep taking these like, because it doesn't look like a risk, right? I mean, you're just walking up to help your Lee Sin. But the fact is that you're not taking the guaranteed gold from the cannon to get like potential gold from killing Kai'Sa there. But realistically, it should never happen that Kai'Sa dies there. And if you go for these like maybe high variance plays is a good way to call it, like plays that don't have a guaranteed benefit, like a high chance that it will just turn out really bad. Which is a shame, especially as a champion like Sona, who really just needs scale, right? You don't need to take any like super crazy risks. So here, Sheen purchase, I like that. It's a good item on Sona. AD carry. Sheen is superior to Carrot and Boots. So you're kind of like spam auto-attacking creeps, so a lot of the Carrot procs will get wasted. You're losing CS kind of randomly. But I like this ward. This is actually quite a good ward. It's especially if you think that the enemy bot lane is going to pink the river bush, then putting a ward over here is really strong. I think this one is a bit misplaced. You could put it like a bit further. You could put it like over here, right? And then you see like when they do Drake, you also have a bit better vision than going into the jungle. Follow super close to affiliation. Alright man, keep surfing. Good luck. Alright, nothing really super interesting here, I think. Now Janna makes the same mistake that Sona made earlier for like legit zero reason. She gets hit by Swainy. That's pretty good, standing at a safe distance. Very reasonable, I think. Getting XP for these creeps without being at any risk. That's nice. That's what I would do too. I mean, like there's like a chance that Kai'Sa could hit your W and then ult in, and then you would be dead as Sona. But I think it's like reasonable to dodge that. Janna is swimming, so you have to just be a loser and sit here. Okay, again here, this is really quite interesting. So remember how a long time ago, right at the start of the game, I said that if you try to auto-attack Kai'Sa, when she goes for a creep, then she will Q and auto-attack you in return. It's like something you should really avoid. And here, Sona tries to auto-attack Kai'Sa. I mean, she wasn't even going for a creep, so it was like really random, right? But it's like she realized that the auto wasn't a very good idea and then turned at the last second, so she didn't even get the auto. That's a pretty good misplay, and also just like a misunderstanding of how Kai'Sa works and how Kai'Sa wants to trade. Like walking into auto range of Kai'Sa when she has Q up doesn't really work that well, unless you have a million creeps around you, which will tank the rockets from her Q. So like these things aren't very like specific to Sona AD carry, right? Like it's like the exact same as if you were playing Sona support. Especially if you have a ranged support, it's like quite the normal lane. And again here, it's like standing on the creeps, so Swain can get his E quite easily. Probably want to stand here on the side somewhere. Also, okay, so this is like a mistake I make too. You think, oh, the Swain E isn't going to hit me, but it's like really, really, really important that you flash when the E is like on its way. You have to realize that the E is going to hit you and that you will die if you don't flash it, instead of flashing afterwards after you take a million damage. So yeah. But it's an easy mistake to make. I understand that. Hey, Janna. It's actually pretty good, I think. When the stack comes here. Okay. Carrot purchase, that's nice. Okay, listen, like, and it cleans this one up. It's good. Oh yeah, also, if you, okay. This is obviously specific to Sona AD carry, since normally you don't have TP, but like, if you're going to TP to a fight, you should use your like Q and W, or at least your Q, before you TP, so you can stack up your passive a bit. Right, if you use Q here before teleporting, then it would be back up by the time that it matters. W too, kind of. W is kind of a long throw. Maybe not that, but like using Q would be nice. And then here, this would be a power court ready. It's like a small detail about teleporting as Sona AD carry to stack the passive in base before starting TP. Here, okay, so Sona is 50 CS, so now it's the penalty zone, and this is like where you really start to regret having taken all those range creeps, because now you really can't farm and it sucks. It's really not good. Of course, when the penalty hits, you have to like stop farming, and yeah, it's not good. Again, getting getting hit by the Swain E, but it's fine because the team's there. I think at this point, the game is honestly looking really good. It's just Zoe that's bad. Like that's like not that super ultra hard to deal with, I think, Sona. And at this point, they are really quite ahead bot lane, I think. I mean, the gold is like about the same. But once Sona finishes her tier 3 quest, it's like, okay, here, oh no, okay, this is definitely one for the cringe compilation. Like farming still with the penalty. All right, so here you see Sona has the penalty. So as soon as you get this, you need to stop farming, all right? You need to absolutely stop farming, and you need to really not take caster creeps. Sona just got 6 gold for taking this one creep. I can understand taking the cannons, because they still give a lot of gold, even through the penalty. But yeah, really need to stop farming as soon as you hit the penalty. And probably also need to not take casters in general, so that you don't hit the penalty so fast. Like, it looks nice on the stats, you know, it's like a nice CS number, but it's not actually good. Okay, so here, stop farming. Oh, okay. Ah, this actually hurts to watch. Like, because you really can't take these range creeps for 6 gold. It's like, it's not worth it at all. It's like, what do you have to, okay, what you have to keep in mind is that with the penalty, or with the support items, you can farm 20 creeps in 5 minutes without penalty, right? But if you hit, as soon as you go over that penalty, right, that amount, like as soon as you hit 21 creeps for 5 minutes, you're at the penalty. So like, if you farm 21 creeps per 5 minutes, straight, constantly throughout the entire game, you will have a penalty for every single one of those creeps. Whereas if you farm just 1 creep less for 5 minutes, if you just farm 20 creeps for 5 minutes, you would have no penalty at all. So it would be like twice the gold almost. So yeah, maybe not that apparent, but if you get the penalty, you really need to stop farming, or you lose gold. It's better if you just watch them die. This is a bit of a GX ultimate here, I think. Honestly, I quite dislike the idea of going mid here. I think that's really random. I don't understand the point of it. It's like, so it's a cannon wave, right? So if you go mid here, you will lose the tower and you will also lose this cannon wave. So it's like a really high risk play that has a really good chance to just not work out. So like if you go mid and you lose the fight, then you also lose bot tower for certain. You lose these creeps for certain. And it's just really bad. It's better to just ping your team to not do that. Like, mechanical misplays aside, and also the Gnar is really stupid. He didn't slam Sona into the wall, I don't know why. And then they somehow win this fight, but like, it's like a really good chance that they just don't win the fight, and then it would be a super bad decision, I think. Right? Because like, look at all these creeps, they're gone. Kaisa gets the tower. And they could actually just kill any bot lane. Like, it looks like it worked out, right? It was like a 3-for-1 trade. Good idea, right? And they get the tower. Actually, they don't get the tower. But like, they could have also just went bot. They could have beaten Kaisa and Swain 2v2, gotten all the creeps, and not lost their tower. I guess not gotten all the creeps, because Sona keeps farming to the penalty, so it's not worth that much. But that's a different story. Of course, even if you let the creeps die, you still get a lot of XP, which is very good at Sona. You like get guaranteed gold from spell thieves, so you complete that faster. Here, again, it's like going for these like low risk plays, okay, high risk, low reward plays. It's like Lee Sin wants to go in, so we follow, I guess, but like. Sona doesn't have ult, and she doesn't have any items, so you need to really be mindful of your power spikes. Actually, Sona has enough gold to buy Lich Bane, so it's really, yeah, it's like super ultra random. Lee Sin goes in, but like if someone on your team is this stupid, you just have to let him die, right? Like there's absolutely no way that this will work out. You have to, and this kind of like requires you to look at the map, I guess, and understand that it's just Lee Sin there. But I think that's not too much to ask for. And then again, it's like, we lose flash, we lose this cannon. Actually, we don't lose the cannon, it's the tower dies, but yeah. It's like a high-risk play that doesn't really need to be made, I think. Especially when Sona has so much gold. Yeah, not switching trinkets, that's a bit of a reportable offense. But okay, no problem. Kind of poor Ghost Power completion. Oops. I'm not really sure what the matter is. Probably just didn't put the wards down too much. Like didn't pay attention to not like replacing old wards. And again, still farming to the penalty. Please stop. Please no more. All right, now of course Sona is super ultra strong. Like okay, actually she's not that strong yet. She still needs the tier 3. But yeah, look at that. It's like so much damage. For some reason Mordekaiser ults here so that Sona doesn't steal his kill. I don't know what his problem is. It's kind of weird. It's also kind of a misplay to go to Swain there, but it's fine. Yeah. Like you can see Sona does a lot of damage here, right? Like this power chord that's going to come is going to legit one-shot the Kai'Sa. Okay, this is actually, this is kind of mechanical misplay. I like the E chord, I don't mind that, but really need to keep an ability up for another Lich Bane proc, right? So here, Q is good, alright, and then we wait, we keep walking, and we wait for W to be back up. And in this case, Kai'Sa flashed away, so it doesn't matter. But if you just wait for W to be back up, you can use it for a Lich Bane proc. Like you just auto, like pay attention to Lich Bane cooldown, auto, and then, or you like wait to auto until Lich Bane is almost up, and then use W when Lich Bane is up and the auto is mid-air. Alright. And now it looks like the game is like kind of over, honestly. I mean, Sona's going to have Sork Shoes and Mijais. I guess just Mijais. Also Sorks really soon. And at that point the game's like super doomed, right? Just Sorks, that's fine, yeah. Tier 3 almost completed. Must be like a few gold away, yeah. Still farming, but it's okay. It's just how it is sometimes. I guess the penalty went away from all the random fighting, that's nice. And here, it's like ultra one-shotting. And yeah, like once you reach this point, the Sona AD carry, the game is basically yours. Unless your team picks full AP. It's pretty straightforward. I would recall here to buy Mijais and T icon, I think. You really... Okay, so actually this is kind of important, okay? So as Sona AD carry, you have this gigantic power spike when you reach your tier 3 support item, but after that you kind of fall off. Like you don't fall off, I mean you're playing a scaling champ, but your income is limited and you don't get any more free stats either. So you kind of need Mijais, I think, to carry you through that. You know, make sure that you stay being strong. Alright, watch this Q auto. Okay, maybe not. Maybe no Q auto. But yeah. It's like disturbing amounts of damage, really. So anyway, I think getting Mijais here would be super good. Especially against a team like this where I think it's quite easy to survive. I assume that's what the plan here is, yeah. I would really sell Fairy Charm for another item though. For either Amptom or no Magic Mantle. I don't know what the point in keeping this is. It's just a bit random. It needs to be sold anyway. Alright, okay. Of course, if you have Mijais, you need to play like a bit more carefully, okay? So ideally, it would be like avoiding risks and trying to group a bit more. So like here, Sona wants to protect Janna, but realistically, if Sona dies, it's like 10 times as bad as if Janna dies. It's a 400 gold shutdown and also 10 Mijais ice. So if Janna wants to die there, that's really fine. I would not risk that. Certainly not. But okay. No punishment, that's like okay. No objectives up. Of course, as Sona AD carry, you have 2 support items, not just 1. So you really want to like group up with your team and put on wards together. Okay, this is like a bit sad. So people dying randomly. A bit of a... Actually, okay, this is also kind of important. Okay, so this flash here was extremely random. Because if you have to kind of like think what are the enemy champions going to do, right? And like what is Zoe going to do here? Obviously she's going to go in and go for the Q. I guess the point was that it would maybe prevent, or like maybe Zoe otherwise would be able to kill Lee Sin, but the flash is so valuable if you have Mijais. I don't think I would waste it like that. Here, just like pick up kills, 22 Mijais size, and now the game is like really over. Now you can just do Baron, or not do Baron, but like play for Baron. You can put down a million wards in top side of the map because you have 2 support items. Ping the Baron, and then he just left. Okay. Alright, so I think the game is over at this point. Do you go for Grievous Wounds and Sona AD here? No, you can't afford to build Morellos. It's like too weird of an item to buy. I really don't think that you could ever buy that, like fit it in. In health is really a bad stat on Sona, I think. Would rather have armor or MR. Alright, so maybe let's do a bit of a recap of this game, because like right now it's really good, but there were a lot of like risks taken over going for consistent plays when it really wasn't necessary, I think. So, and then also it was like not really understanding how Swain and Kai'Sa work, respectively, right? Like continuously getting hit by Swain E and like walking into auto range of Kai'Sa, also not very good. So the question, of course, is like, it's like, you know, it's nice that I can say that, but like the question is, how do you fix it? And I think the answer to that is you just really need to think about how the champions are going to work in the lane and in the matchup. Like, I don't think, I mean, you know, you could like have me water review every single game that you play, but it really is easier if you just think what champions are going to do. Just requires like a bit of playing against the champion and also a bit of thinking. And you realize like, because I mean it's not like rocket science, right? That Kai'Sa wants to go for autos and that you don't want to auto attack her. You don't want to allow her to get her auto and Q on you. Here, this is some, actually okay, what happened here? I thought this game was like over. Okay, this was like a giga waste of ultimates. Okay, actually, okay, this was a really big misplay. So the real mistake here is, of course, that Yasuo is here and Lee Sin is here, and these three are here. So like, if Mordekaiser wants to die here, if Jenna wants to die here, that's really fine. That's totally okay. Here, kind of panic ultimate, and then getting engaged on my Zac and then Gnar. And this all started with being in this position when Yasuo and Lee Sin weren't there. That was like a really big mistake. It's a mistake that you can't like super afford to make, I think. It's kind of bad. And also, of course, like you had like gold for death cap almost. You could really just wait for that. Somehow they still won, so that's that's kind of interesting. But yeah, pretty big misplay there to not look at the map. All right. What if you can't think and only play on instinct? Then you should probably start thinking. You should grow some brain cells. I don't know. It's really important that you understand matchups, that you like actually think about them, because it really is that easy. Like you don't. It's really not that hard, I think. Right? You just think like, okay, what does Kai'Sa do? Like, what are her abilities? Okay, we can look at them together if you want. All right? Kai'Sa's Q. She launches missile. This is like same range as your auto attacks? Okay, so you probably don't want to get hit by this ability, meaning that you probably don't want to be in auto attack range of her, right? Unless you have a really good reason for it. Sometimes, of course, it will still be favorable for you. But if you just like walk up, just like zoom into her through the creep wave, then she will just auto attack and Q you and you will take a lot of damage. And also same with the Kai'Sa W, right? She will look to use that, okay? So something to watch out for. And then Swain, we can look at this guy. So he has his Q. You can't see the ranges here, sadly. But you know, just the range is like, it's like similar to his auto attack range, so you don't really want to be too close to this guy either. And then he has his E, which you know, it shoots out like the hand, and then it explodes on the first thing that it hits when it returns. And then you really don't want to get hit by that. So you know those abilities, and like you know that the Swain E goes through creeps and it explodes on the creeps on the way back, so you probably don't want to stand next to those, and that's kind of it. That's racist? I mean, he just said that he's stupid. So yeah, I mean, I do think that people that think they can't think are stupid. It's kind of racist of you, I think, to say that actually. Here, okay, I actually kind of wonder what happened here. This was like, somehow, I was just like talking and like, whatever. But somehow Sona went through all of her mana pool. It's kind of weird. I wonder how this happened. Did Sona just like not a recall in the last decade? Ah, I think that's what happened. Okay, so here, use a lot of mana on taking Baron, right? So like now Sona is half mana. Really no reason to just stay here instead of recalling, I think. Like when you have this low mana, it's quite bad. You need to hold abilities a bit more and not just like spam E on cooldown as well. And here again, this is like a bit like aimless play. Not playing around your team, because of course Mordekaiser was top and the enemy team was 5, right? So if they're 5 mid and you have one person top, then you need to play back. You need to be scared. And also it kind of ties in with what I said earlier about understanding what enemy champions want to do. Like Zac wants to E in from Fog, and Zoe wants to bubble you from Fog. So you really, really have to be careful if you're at a numbers disadvantage. Like I think the getting engaged on is fine if it's 5v5, but right now it's not. So this was quite lucky, honestly, that Zac went on Lee Sin and not Sona. And now Sona has no mana, and it's like really quite scuffed. It's going to be fine. Honestly, at this point, I would just recall and TP. It's like no reason not to. I would just recall by Sorkbot and TP back in. Because as Sona without mana, you really are worthless. You're like worse than worthless. Worse than worthless, because you can die and lose all of your stacks, and that's what really, really, really not good. Of course, you can also get an assist in the fight, and then you get mana back. Like now it happened, and it worked out, right? But this was like a very sloppy execution, and again, risks taken that don't need to be taken, right? Like walking up here, there's no reason for it. You can just put down wards, you can play it solo, you can wait for Mordekaiser to push in, you can put like a ward over here, and then you just play for top and mid together, like simultaneously. And yeah, that's it. But if I consciously think but only feel what I have to do, then I would recommend starting to think, I don't know. I mean, you understand matchups quite well, I think. You like know what champions do. You're not that stupid. Unless you're playing support. That was not pretty. But if the brain in my mouse doesn't agree with the brain in my head, that happens sometimes. It just takes practice, I think. Alright, but yeah, so like, a summary of this game was like, not very good understanding of what enemy characters want to do and playing around it, and taking too many risks that don't need to be taken instead of going for the very consistent plays. And like, it worked out, like Sona 9-4-12, it's not bad, but she could be like legit like 0-10, really, if things had went better, worse, or better for the enemy team, yeah. And here again, it's like staying with TP up and no mana. I don't understand the point of this, because you're not going to TP, you're not going to like split and then need TP to reunite with your team. You can really, really, really just recall and TP together with your team. I don't understand that, but okay. And then here, also this like overstaying when Dragon is respawning instead of like resetting for that. So now the game is like super thrown back. Hopefully Sona doesn't die here, or that would be really quite sad. Oh yeah, also, was a lot of farming through support and penalty. Really, really, really don't do that if you play Sona AD carry. Okay, this is like Giga int. Really, I mean, this is like a terrific int. I guess they saw enemy team in base, so it's fine. But like at the same time, going here as 2 against Zac, because they didn't see Zac and Zoe, right? It was like a decent chance of Sona just dying here, and that would be disastrous. I mean, really, really, really disastrous. Like if she uses Ignite, then Sona would die probably. That would be bad. So again, like taking risks instead of playing like slowly and methodically, and knowing like what you're supposed to do, or like thinking about what you're supposed to do and then playing accordingly. Again, Lee Sin, he did the same thing. Because like all you have to do here is just, okay, nice test cube over here. That's chill with this one on power chord passive. Anyway though, because like all you have to do here is you have to wait for bot and mid to push in, and then you sit top. Right? That's all. You don't have to go for crazy dives over here. And the crazy part is that it will probably work out, right? Oh, actually, I just saw that the other team won, so that's kind of awkward of a spoiler there. My bad. So, but yeah, here, like, this is like really just random, right? And actually, you are kind of under pressure here. So if you mess up, the enemy team gets so much farm from these double inhibs, and they also get your shutdowns. It's really, really bad. So you have to just go 5 top, take this tower together, take the inhib, and then you have triple inhib, and then at that point you can just take the nexus together. But yeah. And now Baron is up, so I guess the plan is in 3 to play for Baron. How do you do that? Not by going in by yourself. So, bit of a disagreement here with what Lee Sin did. You really need to group up, look for like a nice Lee Sin kick or a Janna Tornado to set up for Yasuo. Except Yasuo is in base, so you really need to run away. So again, it's like... Alright, now it's fine. Like, this is okay. Although you should really... Okay, this is like the same as in the first game. You really need to push the wave before you do anything else. Like, just push this wave in. There's absolutely no reason not to. If you push this wave in, then the enemy team's like a bit under pressure, right? Then someone has to clear it, and then you can get vision down, and you can kill someone maybe. So yeah. Here's Zako's in. Lee Sin super out of position. Janna not there either. And this one you just have to run, right? You just have to like realize that that guy really just inted it. Okay, Mordekaiser is going for the backdoor, the super X-Pecky. Sona going for the one shot, and Kai'Sa is not going to work because she has ult up and she has Hex Drinker, so okay. Good Oh no. Okay, never mind. I guess I spoke too soon. Okay, so we don't go for the Kai'Sa, but then still like trying to stop this, but like if you look at the map you will see that the backdoor ship has sailed, right? Like it's already 2 people in base. There's no point in stopping these guys now. For some reason Yasuo is like soloing Baron. What is this? You have to just like walk together with him, and then you could probably go for this instead. It's like being split and dying. Absolutely zero reason. Enemy team gets Baron. Oh no! This is... And Sona went from 25 magi stacks to 5. So at this point the game is like really fucked for her. I mean, excuse my French, but like really that's not good. Again, people out of position getting caught randomly. It's just like permanently being not grouped, not playing around objectives properly, not pushing waves before doing something, not going for a consistent place. And they actually paid the price, interestingly enough. It's kind of crazy. So this was a painful one to see. And you can see it like kind of the moment where it all went downhill was, well, honestly I would argue here. I'd honestly argue here is where it went downhill, right? Because they just super overstayed here. Okay, this was fine. So now they run. They use Janna disengage. Actually, maybe they can't disengage. Maybe it was not fine. So maybe they just needed to leave this because Zac running them down is really quite a threat. Like maybe if Sona recalls NTP, she has mana, and then they can win this. But this right here really is where the game was doomed, I think. And then they like try to fight this. They could really just run. They really could just run. Like there was nothing stopping them. They were out. They were safe. And then they try to fight with the Sona having no mana. And there's really like no missing. I mean, there was like 2 missing pings here, or 3 pings, whatever, or like 3. But it's not enough, right? Instead of just recalling for the dragon, because like this in it, it's not really going anywhere, right? It's still going to be there later. Oh, Janna's out of mana too? I didn't even see that. Yeah. And then like everyone just dies one by one. It is really sad. I don't even know how Sona went down to 15 stacks. But yeah. Alright, but okay, this was fine, honestly. Like they're still in a really good spot here. Okay, Sona goes for this really int play. I really disagree with this. It works out somehow, which is ridiculous. Also, Janna misplays it super hard. But this was like a super bad idea, I think. I really don't like that. And now, okay, so now like the call has to be, let's go 5 top and just take the tower. So like here Janna pings it, but like you really need to type in the chat, just go 5 top. Push in the mid wave first, that's also important. Like push this wave and then go top, all right? And this will slow push in it, it's fine too, okay? And then you just like very slowly, okay, also you need, okay, I like the idea of putting down this ward, but like Janna could do that too. But okay, you just wait for the next wave, and then like, what the thing is that Sona auto attacks do legit half this tower's HP. Like no exaggeration. If Sona auto attacks this tower once, it loses half its HP. And instead Lee Sin, I don't know what he's doing here. He's like trying to be peanuts and kicking the Kai'Sa, like there's somebody there, it's stupid. And now one by one they die, and yeah, the game assumes. here Sona thinks that she can one-shot Kaisa, but it's not really enough. Kaisa's Hex Drinker. This is also like mispositioning in the fight, right? It's like, from Sona, it's like it's pretty bad misplay of the fight, I think, to be up here instead of like down here on the right. That's okay, right? Because if Sona is with Yasuo here and auto attacks the Zoe, then Zoe dies here, and then Kaisa dies as well. Instead, she hit the people that are really tanky, which is like Swain and Zac. So a lot of mistakes, but like mechanical mistakes, mechanical mistakes are kind of hard to correct. I think that really just takes practice. It's like I don't want to nitpick at that, even though there are a lot of them. But yeah, but there were a lot of decision-making mistakes, which was taking risks for no reason, not playing intelligently around objectives, not playing the laning phase intelligently, like not understanding what the enemy bot lane would want to do. And yeah, that was basically it. You think Sona players should learn Sona AD carry in Q bot section instead of like mid or something? Yeah, definitely. And that's what I do. It's definitely what I would recommend. I think Sona AD carry is way better than, I mean, it's better than Sona support, and I think it's better than playing mid lane. All right, I think that's it for this game. This was honestly one that kind of hurt to watch. But yeah, also really, if you play Sona AD carry and you're at the penalty, stop farming, or I will die. Like not you, but I will see it and I will legit have a stroke and die. Like don't farm with the penalty, just stop. And don't take range creeps so you don't hit the penalty so fast. And don't go for like super aggressive fights early game Sona AD carry. Alright, I think that's it. I don't know if I did a good job at like this VOD reviewing thing. It's like something I'm very new to, but that was like the point, you know? I can understand or like learn how to do it better. I'm not really sure what the point is, because like obviously you don't want to just be like, oh, you should have done this better, because that's like useless, right? I mean, unless you're there to tell the person every single time what to do, it's not that useful. It's like, I think ideally it would be a combination of pointing out mistakes and then like saying how to fix the mistakes, because that's like the real good question. And I think I did an okay job at that, maybe. I tried to anyway. And it's quite hard to pay attention to both like the lane mechanics, like the mechanics in lane, and also the map at the same time. Because that's just like, you know, I mean, I'm playing the game, I can't even pay attention to the map at the same time while also reading the chat, so it's like, it's not that easy. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you maybe learned something, or maybe you didn't. And if you didn't, then, you know, tell me what I did wrong.